So I'm going to use a case study to illustrate how Appreciative Inquiry works. And as I'm talking you through, I have in my mind that it's based on running a one-day workshop that would have a follow-up day that would be designed to examine the action planning element of the Appreciative Inquiry process. So let's say your organisation doesn't have the best reputation for customer excellence, and you decide to bring your team together to tackle the problem. So traditionally, you might have started with questions like, so what are we doing that's wrong around here? Why are we getting it so wrong? Actually, who's getting it wrong? So before you know it, the group will have long points of failure in their list, and it will be peppered with a smattering of blame. And that list can make the situation look pretty daunting. And those who are blamed may disengage when it comes to thinking about solutions. So how would you approach the same situation using Appreciative Inquiry? So let's get the overview of the 5D process and how it would work. So we start with define, and that's all about getting the question right. It needs to be an energizing question, a future-focused question, and getting that right is easier than it sounds. So your specialist Appreciative Inquiry facilitator can help here. So in the scenario we're talking about in relation to customer service, here's a couple that could work. Might sound like this. When I'm at my best serving my customers, what am I doing? Or, what is my best ever experience around here of delighting a customer? Okay, so now we need to work from being coward to resourceful. So we've got those great questions, and what we now need in smaller groups is to allow people to tell their own personal story of their best ever experience. So taking it in turns with their colleagues listening deeply, the storyteller tells their best experience of when it worked. And no matter how bad things are, there's always something that's working in any scenario. So finding that something and what's enabling that something will enable the group to capture that useful data and think about how to utilize it to create a future peak performance. So everyone tells their story, everyone gathers each other's enablers, and then coming together, all of the enablers are grouped and themed and then shared back to the whole group in plenary. And what that group now has is an audit of what the company is doing well and what it is that's enabling them to do well. This is fantastic data for the next stage of the cycle, which is the dream part. And this is the fun part. We know what helps us make things work when it comes to customer service. So now we're going to create an audacious and ambitious dream of customer excellence. And we don't actually want them constrained at this particular dream stage by what's possible. We want them to dream big. So there we are, we've got lots of small groups creating their dreams, and then they have to present them back in plenary. And this is where we like to get them to be creative. We like the people presenting their dream to do it in a creative way through a song, a mime, a poem, something completely different. And we do this to get their creative juices going. And because what they say and share will be the utopian dream of delivery, customer service in this case, and people will see something, feel something, and hear something, which will really land the power of the dream. Now this is where a graphic facilitator comes in, because I love to bring the skills of drawing to the skills of facilitation. And as the different groups talk through their dreams, I will be there drawing them, great big beautiful drawings that capture the essence and aspirations of the people who are sharing their dreams. So now we're ready to move from the dream phase round to the design phase. And the Appreciative Inquiry facilitator guides the group through the design phase. In this particular area, what we're doing is developing the high-level themes or bridges from dream to reality. It's not a detailed plan and it won't take long. So we ask each of the groups to identify the specific topic areas they're going to need to focus on. Keep it broad, keep it conceptual, because it's not until we get into the final phase, which is delivery, that we go from big blue sky thinking into detailed planning. And whilst they're talking about the big themes, I'm still on the pens, drawing those high-level themes. So once we've got the big themes, we're now ready to get down to the low-level detailed planning. And I like to actually give people some thinking space here. So often I'll end on the design phase, take a few days break, couple of weeks, come back and work with the group together to create the delivery phase, because we're now into project planning, we're now into priorities. But on the big workshop day, if the group have the energy, I will ask them for their top 3 actions. But when we come back and we facilitate this delivery phase, and it's all about project plans, then we'll look at short, medium and long term. We'll look at whether sprints will work for the organisation. We'll look at how people will measure their successes and what the risks might be. So having gone through the whole Appreciative Inquiry process, the dream will leave with vision, energy and a high level of motivation to deliver.